Welcome to CARZ Trends. Today, we're turning back the clock to explore one of the most iconic and misunderstood grand tourers of the 1980s and early 1990s, the Toyota Supra Mk3. Known internally as the A70, this car represents a pivotal moment in Toyota's evolution from reliable appliance maker to legitimate performance powerhouse. While it often gets overshadowed by the legendary Mk4 that followed, the Supra Mk3 was the first time Toyota truly gave the Supra its own identity, and that identity was precision-engineered, technologically advanced, and, in hindsight, decades ahead of its time. In this in-depth episode, we're going to explore everything from the Mk3 Supra's bold design and turbocharged engineering to what it's like owning, maintaining, and driving one in today's US automotive landscape. We'll break down restoration costs, real-world insurance rates, appreciation trends, and collector insights to help you decide if the Supra Mk3 deserves a place in your garage, or at least in your dream list. Let's begin with the design language. When the Mk3 Supra debuted in 1986, it broke away from its Celica roots, becoming a standalone model. This separation allowed Toyota to elevate the Supra from a sporty trim to a true grand touring coupe. Gone were the angular 70s lines. In came smooth, wind tunnel-tested aerodynamics, retractable headlights, and a long, low hood that screamed performance. With its wedge shape, targa top option, wide track, and integrated rear spoiler, the Supra Mk3 looked like it came straight out of a cyberpunk dream. And this wasn't just a case of form over function. The Mk3's design offered a drag coefficient of just 0.32, extremely low for its time. Every surface had a purpose, from the side skirts to the rear valance. Factory colors like super deep red, jet black, and pearl white still look striking today, especially when paired with polished 16-inch saw-blade alloys or period-correct aftermarket wheels. If you see one of these roll by in pristine condition, it turns heads, guaranteed. Beneath the hood lies the soul of the Mk3 Supra, and here's where things get exciting. Depending on the trim and year, Toyota offered several variants, but the jewel in the crown is the 7M GTE, a 3.0-liter turbocharged inline-six. From the factory, this engine produced 232 horsepower and 254 pound-feet of torque, pushing the Mk3 from 0 to 60 miles per hour in around 6.4 seconds, quick for its era and still respectable today. A smooth 5-speed manual or a responsive 4-speed automatic routed power to the rear wheels, delivering the kind of balanced, tail-happy driving experience enthusiasts still crave. Now let's talk about that legendary inline-six. The 7M GTE was a sophisticated unit for its time, with an intercooler, forged internals, and dual overhead cams. However, it also had a critical weakness, the head gasket. Toyota, in an effort to save money, under-torqued the factory head bolts, leading to a common and dreaded failure. But here's the good news, modern rebuilds correct this flaw entirely. With aftermarket studs and a metal head gasket, the 7M GTE becomes a reliable workhorse capable of handling over 400 horsepower with basic mods. For owners seeking more power, the Mk3 is a perfect platform. Upgrades like a larger CT26 turbo, standalone EQ, front-mount intercooler, and upgraded injectors can unlock serious potential. There are also many examples with 2JZ swaps, using the Mk4's legendary engine in the Mk3 chassis to create a sleeper monster. Handling and suspension, surprisingly good. The Mk3 was one of the first Japanese cars to feature Toyota's TEMS, Toyota Electronic Modulated Suspension, system, offering adjustable damper settings at the push of a button. It featured double wishbone suspension at all four corners, offering precise control, excellent feedback, and a level of ride comfort you wouldn't expect from a 30-plus-year-old GT car. Add a well-balanced chassis, and you've got a car that feels planted in high-speed corners but can still be civilized enough for long road trips across the US. And what a grand tourer it is. Inside, the cabin is a time capsule of analog dials, digital gimmicks, and plush materials. High-bolstered seats, available leather, and even an optional digital dash cluster added a touch of futuristic flair in the 80s. The Targa Top version remains especially collectible today, offering open-air driving with coupe rigidity when needed. The layout feels driver-focused with all the controls angled slightly toward the pilot, a nod to Toyota's race and rally aspirations at the time. Now let's dive into the modern-day ownership experience of a Toyota Supra Mk3 in the US. For starters, buying one requires diligence. Pristine, Low-mileage turbo models now command $20,000 to $40,000, with clean manual Targa top examples often exceeding $50,000 in collector circles. However, decent drivers can still be found between $10,000 and $18,000, especially if you're willing to put in the work. Financing a Mk3 Supra is a mixed bag. Traditional banks may hesitate to finance cars over 25 years old, but credit unions, collector car finance companies, or personal loans can bridge the gap. Expect interest rates to range from 5% to 9% depending on credit. If the car qualifies as a classic, most 1986-1992 models do, you may be eligible for agreed value policies and specialized insurance plans from providers like Hagerty or Grundy. Insurance premiums vary widely based on location, vehicle value, and usage. A clean Supra Mk3 used as a weekend toy may cost as little as $600 to $1,000 per year under a collector policy. However, if you're daily driving one or live in a major metro like Los Angeles or New York, expect premiums of $1,500 to $2,500 annually. Maintenance is where preparation meets reality. These cars are aging gracefully, but they're still 30+ years old. Here's what you should expect. Regular oil changes with high zinc content for turbo motors. Timing belt replacements every 60,000 miles. Head gasket inspections or upgrades on unmodified 7M engines. Cooling system overhauls, including radiators and hoses. TEMS shock replacements. OEM units are rare, but aftermarket COI lovers are common. Interior trim restoration due to sun exposure or cracked plastics. Parts availability is still fairly strong thanks to online communities and companies reproducing key components. Toyota itself has reissued a handful of heritage parts, and the Mk3 community remains passionate, with active forums and Facebook groups to help source rare trim pieces, gaskets, or digital dash components. Tuning potential, immense. The Mk3 Supra has a loyal tuning base. You'll find street builds pushing 500+ horsepower on stock blocks. Whether it's old-school HKS and Greddy bolt-ons or modern AQ tuning with standalone systems like AEM Infinity or Haltech, the Mk3 responds well to thoughtful upgrades. Just be warned, cutting corners on turbo kits or fuel systems can quickly lead to expensive rebuilds. As an investment, the Mk3 Supra is finally getting the recognition it deserves. Just 5 years ago, these cars were often listed under $10,000 in decent shape. Now, values are surging, especially for unmodified turbo manual Targa cars. Auction sites like Bring a Trailer have sold pristine examples for $40,000 plus, and prices are steadily rising year over year. If you're looking for a car that offers both emotional and financial return, a properly maintained Mk3 is a strong bet. In terms of daily usability, the Supra Mk3 still holds up surprisingly well. It's stable at highway speeds, the cabin is relatively quiet, and the long hood gives it undeniable road presence. Fuel economy is fair for a turbocharged inline-six, around 17 mpg city and 22 mpg highway, depending on boost levels and tuning. Visibility is excellent, trunk space is generous, and the rear seats, while small, are usable for short trips or extra storage. Mod cons. Of course, it's an 80s car. No touchscreen, no CarPlay, no lane assist. But you can retrofit modern audio, backup cams, and even Bluetooth integration without damaging the originality. The key is respecting the car's vintage charm while selectively upgrading for comfort and reliability. In short, the Toyota Supra Mk3 isn't just a stepping stone to the Mk4, it's a worthy destination in its own right. It delivers a unique driving experience, retro styling,